All right, we're in the 2022 summer major. Had to go to the doc. I had a doctor's appointment on Monday, and it got canceled, and so they moved it to Wednesday, and so I did it today. So I'm still a little looped, actually. So we'll see. We'll see. Dunner did this the other day. He had the same procedure, and he was a little bit looped. So we're gonna play tonight with our with my odd account, maybe. So I'm gonna get at least one account through. I've only played these holes one time. I went back and watched my video from yesterday, and I watched Kyle, my teammate Kyle's videos to see. And there was a couple holes that we came out a little bit different. I was being more aggressive on several holes, but the first hole, I played a bigger ball, I think, and came at it. I did a blind curl shot from this side with a 5-power ball so that I could get up into this area. Maybe. And I used a one side spin ball, but it would have been nice to have a little bit more side spin there. So if you do come from this side, you got a shot. But there is a shot from right here where you can bring it around. But this shot's going to take 5.5, 6.5 top spin, depending on where you get down here. If you're using an extra mile 9 could probably get it done. And this is with a 3-power ball, and the other side's with a 5. So I'm going to try the 3-power shot and see what that looks like. The main goal here is it's not important that I try and get on. The main goal is just that I get right out in front. I'm going to try that APOC, and I'm going to bring a Kingmaker because we'll definitely need some side spin. Let's buy some Kingmakers. Getting a few of them. All right. There we go. All right, we'll see if I can remember how to play. So it's 1.5 per ring on the APOC at Max Club. The other day I was in a spot and I didn't know what my minimum on my Apocalypse was, but minimum is at 2.0. 1.5, 1.75, 2.0, 1.7, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I was playing the shot that my opponent's playing over there, which is just a blind curl shot. The thing about the shot on the right is that it is a little bit more technical because you can pull back from the red line, so then it becomes a topspin deal. But the thing is that you can get aggressive towards the cup and put the sand into play, or you can try and lay yourself up over to the left. You may not get a run at the cup by just being on the fringe or right off. So if you're playing the shot to the right and you hit it to the right, could be in some trouble. Nice. But if you're going to try and do the shot from the other side and go straight at the cup, then you're going to have to do some blind curl. All right. Get down into this area. Let me see where I'm at. A couple rings of separation. I'm going to try 6 topspin. Where's that put me? I can get a little bit of a run to the cup. We need to put like baby curl on it, just a little. Where's that fringe line? So I'm about 3 rings off the fringe. 3.9. That should be 2 3/4 rings. I'm gonna just do 4, or excuse me, 3. Isn't it perfect? Just that baby curl to get me around that sand. And it'll roll off the back. Ooh, it rolled back towards the cup. Look at that. Look at that. So you can get a little bit of a run there, but man, you really got to get it right. There is no room for error on the right-hand side. And either way there works. I actually like the blind curl shots. A lot of those shots you can bring out. You could bring out a lower level ball and bring out your big topper. You could probably stick with the power 3 ball and bring out your big topper, or even go to a katana with a big topper and put on all the topspin and bring it around the corner and do a blind curl shot on it. So there's a lot of things that you can do. In one-on-one play, the blind curl shot is probably the way to go. All right, can't get too excited. We need to get eagles on all the par fours, that's for sure. I saw somebody in one of my accounts got an 18, so obviously people have figured this out. It didn't seem like it was that long of a course and that we had opportunities on a lot of different holes. Playing it yesterday for the very first time, just first reaction to it, it didn't seem like it was too difficult of a course. The key, this is one of those courses that it's key to put yourself in the right spot for your second shot, because you can, at least, and on hole number 3 coming up here, you can overshoot it or undershoot it and end up being in a very bad spot, even though you had a nice clean drive. Hole number 2. Okay, I got all kinds of freaking notes for hole number 2. So I think I'm at mid club. I'm going to use a grizzly and a navigator. Let me grab a bag first, and I'll look at the hole. Grizzly and a navigator. All right, now let's look at the hole. Okay, so yesterday, a couple observations from the rookie tee. Like this side over here, they might as well just have spectators over here. Everybody's going to probably be hitting here. And there is a shot where you can get around over here and kind of come at it and use some backspin. But your red line with a 1 Powerball is like in this area. And if you look at where that rough is, right by the tree, it pops out right here. And your rough is like your red line area is here. So you have some room to work out wind. And you can start back here and underneath of the tree, and then run it underneath of the tree to go at the cup. Now it seemed like the cup was here, and I was watching Kyle's video because I noticed this yesterday. It's one of those holes that there's like a crest right here, and then it breaks down to the cup. And so if your speed's not absolutely right and it's rolling down this hill, it's fading to the left, and you'll miss to the left. If your speed's too fast, it can break to the right. But if you're aiming straight at the cup and trying to get your ball guide straight at the cup, it's downhill here, and you'll end up going too fast, and you'll end up breaking through it. So you kind of got to stop your ball guide at the top of that hill and then extrapolate it running down to the cup. And this was 1.1 plus 10. And I'm going to add on 10%. So Kyle's made this shot several times, and he's been adding on 10% on it. So that's what I'm going to do. He's got a setup shot, which is half a top spin, half a left-hand side spin, plus 10, mid-club. We'll see if it works. Dangerously close to the rough, but danger, Will Robinson. Let's see if I can grab a hold of the deal. All right, here we go. So if it's 1.1 per ring at 10%, it's just 1 to 1. Although this club, a grizzly, if it's 100% accurate, is actually more than 100%. So if you got a lower Powerball, it's 0.9 per ring instead of 1, which is basically 1-1. A little less. It's weird how that works. I actually haven't written the math down so I can see how that works, but it is definitely weird how it works. Grizzly. Looking for that fall off there. 4-4. Just 4-4. Hitting it perfect. We'll see how close I can get. I needed to move it a little bit more to the right, or excuse me, the left. And it's going over that hill, so I would have lengthened it out to come towards the cup, but that's why it was short. Need to find the spot down there and pay attention to it. I like our odds on this, but I think there's going to be a certain percentage of the people in the bracket that are going to get eaten up by that tree. Because you can get really close to the tree where the arc from your first bounce is like right there. So if you slightly over pull it, or if we have a tailwind and you don't pull out enough of the wind, it'll actually hit the tree before it hits the first bounce. And I think we're going to see, especially right now, we've got tailwind, so it's kind of not that bad. But I think in the weekend round, or one of the rounds where they have a pure tailwind on this hole, we're going to see people doing exactly what my opponent did right there and not making a good enough wind adjustment and clipping that rough. But I think we're going to see people clipping that tree as well. All right. Okay, this next hole. So yesterday I came out here with a power 3 ball and an extra mile, and I did 4 topspin, and I was just a little teeny bit short of where I would have liked to have been. I had a shot. I had the shot, but I had to apply a little teeny bit of right-hand side spin in order to get back around to the cup. And I ended up trying a dunk because I brought a sniper to this party, and it didn't have enough backspin. Now my buddy Kyle, I went and watched his video, and what he's doing is he's going at it the other way, where you need to get maximum. You can go too far, but you want to get out there quite a ways to get past all the trees so that you have a straight in shot. And on that side, I don't think you need as quite as much backspin. In the hole. It's a draw. All right. Back to the hole number 3 drawing board. Let's look at hole number 3. Let's look at it. So yesterday, so what I'm talking about here is my buddy Kyle is trying to get out into this area. So if you look at this rough right here, from the tee box, if we draw a line from the tee box to this spot out here, I mean, it's quite a, when you're thinking about trying to bring it in down here, you're way at the end of your run. So you need bounces out here, and I don't think with the sand stuff, like you may be able to get so that you could try and get forward and get in front of these trees so that you're on the other side taking the shot coming in. And I think my buddy was like right on the other side of that shadow. So it just having cleared the trees like in this quadrant. And obviously in this quadrant you want to be further to the right, because on the left hand side, the way this rough runs, you can overrun a shot over here that's in the clear would be in the rough on the other side. So it's better to be on the right hand side of that quadrant. What I'm looking for is there's another lane that runs right here, and you can get out into this zone. And yesterday I was right inside the shadow, and where I needed to be was like maybe 3 feet on the other side of the shadow, kind of like where I put the mark in between those, and then I would have had a straight up shot. But if you're going to do this shot, there's no rough bump, there's no nothing, you're going to need a club with backspin, no doubt about it. From this side, you've got a little bit farther, a little bit more of a run to the cup, so you don't. And I think this is the difference between wood and long iron. So if you're over in this zone, you've got a little bit more run at it, and you're in a shorter club. But I'm shooting for this because I think for most people, but this is definitely one of those things where you can overshoot or undershoot on either one of these shots. If you overshoot out here and you're in the rough, you still get a great shot coming in because you're in your long iron, so you have a great shot coming in if you use a Nirvana. If you short shoot and you're behind the tree, you're going to have to use curl, and then you can still get on, but it's just diminished. You can do the same thing from here. But I'm going to try this. I'm going to try the close-up shot and see if I can dial that in just a little better. So I'm taking a... Which way is the wind blowing? If I can touch the screen. Little teeny bit of headwind. I'm going to continue to stick with the Kingmaker. And I'm going to bring my number 1 bag. Or I'm going to bring this bag right here because I want a Guardian. I tried to do a dunk yesterday and I didn't have enough backspin to stick on the green, but if I would have had a Guardian, I could have tried the dunk and stuck it to the green and still been able to putt it out. But I didn't quite have enough distance to really get a run at it. And I hit it great to the right, so that didn't help. But I was practicing yesterday. All of yesterday's stuff is on my notes. So like that's the whole deal about brand new holes, is going out there and not trying to solve world peace in the one setting. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 topspin, 3, 4, 5, which is 1 more than what I had last time. I'm going to start off just a little bit more on this side so I can put a little curl on it. 2, 6. Should be about a ring and a quarter. It puts me about 3/4, 2/3 in the power. Hitting it perfect. Probably should have put a little teeny bit more power on it. All right. Oh, that was a little too far. What that actually was not only was it a little bit too far, if I'd have put the curl, I was thinking to myself right there, what it was a little bit not quite enough curl. And if I'd have put the curl on there so that I would have cleared, I would have rolled out a little bit more and I would have been dead center behind those trees. So I hit it too long. I didn't need the overpower. Be a better spot for if you wanted to use max club like that, so you could set it up as bring out a 4-power ball, so you can always take the wind out. You can pull it back from the red line, pull it back to where it would be if it was a 3-power ball, and then it gives you the ability to take the wind out, so you don't have to overpower it. It's always iffy when you overpower it because it's super easy to overpower it. And my opponent is about where I would have ended up, and you can see like they're right behind the trees. I think I would have been even worse. All right. Three, 4. It's 2 per ring. It's about 1 3/4 rings. I'm going to rub the nubs. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get any kind of luck going down the hill. It looked like it was going to come in on the right hand side. That's why I was rubbing the nubs, trying to get it out there just a little farther. And it did come in on the right hand side. On the left from where I shot it, but as it was rolling down the hill, it was fading to the right. All right, that was my Albie look. And this is exactly, I will tell you what I would do in this situation is I would find the spot. I would come out here and find the spot where I can finally get my ball guide to work. And then I would go in about 3 rings from that, because you got to remember that curl's not representing your ball guide. So I would go out to that spot where it's clear, and I would put on my spin, and then I would move it into the tree, and then I would do the max curl and just bring it around the tree. My opponent did good. That works. That dog will hunt. I should shoot a whole video for newer people about trees. Like when you can't see your ball guide disappears. You gotta be thinking of the fact that your ball guide curl's not represented in your ball guide. So thinking about where the ball is going to travel once you apply curl, and not worrying about the trees. Unless you're hitting into trees, I never worry about trees. Let's see if wind was a factor. They were on the right-hand edge of the cup. Wind did play a little factor. All right. Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? Let's go look at it first. I can't remember. All right, I tried yesterday. I gave it a valiant try yesterday. And I tried to come from this spot right here and bring it around. And the deal is that it's possible if it wasn't for the way that the green is. So you get to a spot up here and your side spin's not taking effect because there's a ridge on the green, and so you're trying to pull it up the hill, and so the side spin's not as effective as it normally would be. If you could pull it back a little bit, if you could pull it out into here, now all of a sudden you'd be on the other side of the hill and your ball guide would go right towards the cup. And I missed my first shot, and then I came out and did it again with a power 3 ball with the 5 side spin just to see if 5 side spin would work, and it didn't. So missed it. I didn't take that shot, and then took the shot from straight up. So the shot straight up is sniper nav max backspin. And there's a spot, an aiming spot, that is actually not going right at the cup. If I can get where I can touch my damn screen. Navigator. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what kind of winds we have first. Yesterday when I came out, I really wasn't worried about any kind of adjustments like elevation or wind or whatever the hell you want to call it. I really wasn't worried about any of them. My whole goal was just to try and figure out like what different approaches were to the hole and what clubs I might need and what balls. And sometimes we get on those holes and our initial thing is we jump to a bigger ball, but then we can go back and look at it, and there may be a way to get it done with a regular ball and end up being pretty much the same spot, but that's not always the case, but sometimes it is. 3-3 3-9-7. All right, let's hit it perfect. Oh, and that was definitely not perfect. Definitely not. Definitely not. That was one ring great to the right and one ring great to the right. So it's aiming in front. There's a dark square and aiming right to the corner of that. So like the pin itself is on a dark square, and then there's a green square in front of it, one of the lighter green squares. See if my opponent gets down there close enough. Yeah, you can see that the pin is right on the transition between a light and a dark square. So where that dark square is on the other side, kind of right in front of the cup. Perfect would have been nice. All right. What do we have next? We have a par 5 next. If my opponent can get in, I'm sure they can from here. Let's check out Trendo. 1 billion earned. Got some sporting some jewelry. All right. Hole number 5. Hole number 5. What is hole number 5? All right. Yesterday it seems like we had a headwind yesterday. And what I was trying to do is see if I could make it over here. And I ended up, because of the headwind, it was pushing, I think it was like a 4 or 5 headwind, and it pushed it forward. I went back and watched that video on like where my bounces were, and it pushed it back like a full five rings. So I mean, it was like fighting up against the headwind was like going up against the 9-mile-an-hour headwind, and it put me not quite dead center of this, a little bit forward of dead center, but I had a ways to go. Now, I had a great Nirvana shot from there, I will say that. But I think today if we have a headwind, so if we have a headwind, I'm going to lay it up, and if we have any kind of side wind or tailwind, I'm going to go for this shot over here. So we'll see. I'm sure today we've got the same kind of wind. Yep. So I'm going to lay it up. I think I can just lay it up with my number 1 bag. No sense in. We'll bring a Titan. The king of balls. Let's see what we can get going out there. Try and get as close to the end as I can without bleeding off. This will be the first time. Yesterday I saw that and I was like, okay, let's see if we can fight up against the headwind. How bad is the headwind? But it seems like on a lot of these newer courses that the headwind is truly a headwind. I mean, you're getting pounded every bounce. Here we go. Let's see what the deal is. I think if you're just laying up down on the end, you're in long iron range. I could be wrong. Let's see if we can get a little closer than that. We want to get a lot closer than that. They left a lot on the field. They left a little bit out there. we can get here. I'm going to get out on that point. I'm going to be 3.5 rings off that point. I'm going to do 3.5 topspin. Let's go for it. Let's see if I can overshoot it. I'm going to do 4. Hitting it perfect. I think I over curled it there. Could have did another topspin. I could have moved it all the way out so that I was 4 rings out and put on another topspin, and that would have put me right dead center in the middle, and then I could have actually stretched out more all of the topspin and probably got right out to the tip. If you're doing those blind curl shots, I pulled to the left 3.5 rings to give the curl room to develop. And that wasn't quite enough. Okay, 3.9. Here's Max Club. Couple backspin. .29 rings. And there's 4.3. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can get even close. Underpulled it just a little teeny bit. I did a 10% on that, and I rounded up. I'm gonna make a note here, just where I was at on that particular try, which was pretty close. In the hole. All right. All right. Let's see what we can get going. What is this hole? Hole number 6. What is hole number 6? Par 4. Let's go look at it. Let me look at it. I think once again we were trying to get over to this fairway. So I've got extra mile, par 5, Grizzly, play 1-to-1. And I think I did make it over to this on this particular hole. I hit it 2 rings straight to the right, and I had aimed it to go down the long ways, but I hit it 2 rings straight to the right, and it came through the rough here and was on the lower side. Let's try a Zerk. Let's try a Berserker. We're kind of practicing, so like until I can figure out if I need to bring something more elaborate than a Berserker. Extra mile, par 5. And it says if I aim in my Grizzly to play 1-to-1. If I can get an opponent. If. That's a big if. Need more coffee. Ugh. All right, I'm back. I go first. We had a little bit bigger wind yesterday. Three, 4. It's a little over a ring and a half. I'm going to push the forward distance back on it, which isn't a lot. One ring great to the right. Get out! Whew. Yesterday we had like a 4 or something wind, so it was just and I barely got out yesterday. I mean, I was out in the real world probably a yard. So that little teeny drop in wind, 0.6 in wind or so, definitely played a factor. Just made it out. Okay, and from here, I'm definitely going to be in long iron. Get. That dog will hunt right there. That dog will hunt. Okay, I'm definitely at max grizzly. Right at it. 3-3. So there's 3 1/4, 3-3, right there. Ah. Don't know what that'll be like. Don't know. Damn it. No perfect. Rushed it. I think I tried yesterday with a grizzly and there is no rough bump there, but if you bring a Goliath, I'm sure you can do a rough bump. Because I think a maxed out grizzly's only got like 60% topspin and a Goliath's got 100, so I think it's got enough. You can't get close with a grizzly, but that extra 40 topspin will get you there, especially the last bar or two. It's kind of like backspin. You can have 90% backspin and it seems like a lot, but 100 is a lot. That last little 10% is what actually gets the ball to suck back towards you. All right. I need to turn that off. I turned that on because it gave I purchased that because it gave me 2 practice tokens. Try and do a better my odds with just the one revolver giving me practice tokens. Have multiple things going. All right, pretty straight round so far. Damn it. That's the first par 4 that I've dropped. I think that might be the hardest of the par 4s though, even if you're in the right spot. You pretty much got to hit it perfect. All right. This hole right here the other day, I was in mid club. I think I did like a plus 20% at mid. I'm trying to remember what I did here the other day. So the other day the wind was 3 and a little. And if it was at mid club, mid grizzlies, mid sniper, is at 1.2 per ring, and 3 rings was 3.6. And I think I added on about 20% to get it to the 3.6, and I still was off a little. So what I'm going to do, these rough bumps, these are narrow little rough bumps. If you get the wind wrong, you'll end up missing the rough, and that could be bad. The most important part of a rough bump is hitting the rough. All right. I'm going to try that again. We'll see. Because that's basically 1-to-1. If you're adding on 20% and the club is 1.2, that's 1.2 times the wind divided by 1.2, so it's the wind. So I'm going to just try playing it straight up 1-to-1, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how we'll see how bad that gets. Play this with a navigator. And this could go really wrong. Especially, and the deal here is that with the sand, if the sand's involved in the pool, let's see which way the sand is. Because I think I pushed it up. Yeah, and so what I did yesterday was I moved the wind out and then I pushed it forward a half a ring. So we're going to do 1-to-1 and push it forward a half a ring. Finding an opponent. Maybe if I can find an opponent. If. Here we go. It is skinny narrow. Let's get where we can see what the hell we're doing. Four, 5. There's 3. And I didn't push it forward the half. And this is going to go horribly wrong. I barely hit that rough too. Definitely need to push it forward a little. The result down there at the end looked pretty, I was pretty close, but I wasn't, I was just happy that it made the rough. It hit right on the transition. I forgot to push it forward the half ring. See if my opponent can get it straight. Perfect. And I think they're bringing it around. They're avoiding that rough bump like the plague, and I don't blame them. There is a little backboard, rolling, and you can roll off the other side, and the putt from there, it will roll down to the fringe, but I don't know if I'd want to take that putt if it didn't make it all the way to the fringe. Yesterday I got it, and I didn't realize that I rolled barely onto the fringe. I thought I was going to have to take the putt from the bottom. I wasn't looking forward to it, but it did make it. All right. Had some shots. Haven't made anything special yet. I did pick up 2 of the par 4s, but you can't get too excited about that. We have to pick those up. We have to. or at least one of the par fours. I think I picked up one. So here's the second one. We have to pick this one up. So on this one, if you bring out, you do not have to bring out a bigger ball, but if you bring out a bigger ball, you're in this area trying to bring it around. And I wrote what I used, but I didn't write any notes as far as what I did. So thanks to myself for not helping a guy out. Come on. Power 5. Zerk. That fits the bill. APOC. Let's see if we can go get a eagle. And I'm not going to say that any hole you're like they're gimmies, but like you got to get an eagle on this hole. So I played it one time, and I'm declaring that you have to get an eagle on this hole. Boris, you might I win against somebody else. My opponent experienced an unexpected problem. All right, let's try that again. And obviously, you did not win. Back 9, party on Wayne. Must be friends with Dunner. And I actually wrote, I did make some notes on my card. My phone was covering it up. I used a power 3 ball yesterday, but I was going against this headwind, and I had to do just a little bit of overpower. So what I decided to do is switch to a 444 and then pull back a little bit from the red line so that I could still work the wind out and do max topspin less 1 than max, and maximum left-hand side spin, and trying to bring myself just right out here in front. Now yesterday I had a 2-ring grate, and I ended up going into the trees, and I made it through the trees on the other side, and I had a nice little short rough bump and was able to make it, but I'd rather just be in the clear out in front. I'm gonna have a tough shot from there underneath that tree. So let's switch this up to this ball right here. 1 less than max topspin. I can pull back a little from the red line, so I'm going to pull back to the 20 mark. Orange ring off. 2-6. I'm going to do a 3 mile-an-hour pull, so that's 2 rings. That puts me about a half a ring into power. Max curl, just a titch of overpower. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if that brings me around enough. Now, if I'd hit that grate to the right from where I was at, it would have more than likely got stuck in that rough. I would have needed to put all of the topspin on it. But if I didn't clip the rough, I think if I put all of that topspin on it, there is a chance I could have rolled off the back, but it's probably pretty close. So next time I try it, I'm going to do max topspin just to see. So I'm at the plus 20 mark. Max top, left, side spin. Oh, I was looking at the wrong notes. That's the deal. Max top spin. I was like, why are the notes? I just read that on those notes. I was looking at the wrong notes. That explains it. What's up, baby?
How's the patient?
Patient is good. One more hole in my round. What's up, Buster Boy? Hitting it perfect. In the hole. In the hole. Eagle. All right, can't get too excited about that because that's a hole we have to eagle. All right, what do we got here? We have one hole left. One hole. Let's see if we can get this hole down. What is hole number 9? Oh, hold on one second. Hold on. Let me get that back. Hold on. All right, here we are. Hole number 9. Okay, so yesterday, it did look to me yesterday, and I didn't try it out. I came out here with a power 3 ball, or I came out here with a navigator to start, and I switched to a power 3 ball and took this track, and I ended up down in this area. My opponent was down in here trying to get my, once again, a blind curl shot down to get maximum where I'd really like to be, even though it's a little bit, it's about the same on as far as arc goes, as I really like to get down here into that very far corner. I'd like to be high in the far corner so that the farther I can get forward, I can clear, if we draw a line here, from this sand and this rough along that line. I'm trying to get on this side of the line, so then I have a straight up shot to the cup and I don't have to use side spin, or if I do use side spin, it's just for the terrain down here, but it's not to try and get around anything. So I had Sniper, Kingmaker. I was at the +7 mark, 6 topspin. And I was short a little yesterday, but the curl definitely came in handy. So for those of you with an APOC 7 and an extra topspin, that's even better. Better. Mo better. All right, that bag will work. Sniper to the cup. Now it looked to me like if you had the right kind of wind and you brought out a 5-power ball, that you might be able to get across the drink onto the little pad on the other side and you'd be in long iron range. That's what it looked like. But I can tell you that there's not really much to work with there because there's that wall and you've got to clear it. So that second bounce has got to make that distance to get over there or you're in the drink. Like there's no like in between. And I'm not sure when you get all the way down to the bottom where those sand traps are at, a lot of times if it's rolling on a downhill slide, that means that when you take the bounce, it's a flat bounce. And so it flat bounces over to the other side and it may not have enough height to clear the wall where the water's at. So in those cases, sometimes you can pull back and you can see there's a little mound right here in this area by the sand traps. You might want to hit on top of that mound so that you can get a normal ball flight. At the +7 mark, 6 topspin. I'm going to do max topspin, and I don't think there's much more than 6. You can see where my opponent's aiming with that, going towards that bottom corner. They'll have a nice shot from down there. They will have to negotiate that, so +7. 2 rings off. 3/8. It's a little over 2.5 rings. It's 1.5 per ring. So there's the 3/8. I'm going to do just a little bit more, like maybe a 5%, just to. I'd rather give myself more room from that rough. That is exactly where I'm trying to get. It's way up in that corner to try and open the green up. Now even the distance where my opponent's at, how they're coming into it, that stuff is not impeding them in any way, shape, or form, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't want to I want to take traps out of play, not try and keep them in play where I have to negotiate around them. But it's nice to be just far enough, just close enough to them that you can use them as markers. So like right there, their white ring, just a titch more than white ring off of the sand. So if they make this and they recorded their own video, they could go back and look at it and try and figure out like where they'd set it up and what kind of movement they put on it. I have no idea of adjustment to the cup here, so I'm just going to do wherever I'm at in my club, 1-to-1. Whatever it is. Okay, there's max. There's min. So I'm at minimum club, so it's 1.3. So 2.3 divided by 1.3 is 8 rings. And I'm going to stick right at the red line. .8 rings. There's 1/8. Oh, I hate it when I don't hit those perfect. I don't think I hit a shot into a par 5 perfect all day. So I have no idea. They all seem like they were pretty close, but I have no idea without hitting it perfect. I was trying to hold a cough. Okay, so I think I picked up 2 of the par 4, so that's just a nice, easy -14. I really think this tournament, these holes seem pretty straightforward. So, like normally, when we play a tournament for the very first time, if you're in the -28 to -30 range, you're good to go. But I think with some of these holes on here, usually the second time we play a tournament, it bumps it up about 2 shots. So like if normally it'd be 28 to 30, now we're talking 30 to 32. And I think this is one of those tournaments where the learning curve is actually going to be pretty low. And we're going to see shots. You're going to have to shoot a 30 just to get into the top 10. Just to have that, like, you know, where they're like even willing to talk to you. All right. There we have it. That was in my main account. Now I've still got my practice account to go, and I'm going to play with Dunner tonight. So I just wanted to go out there and get around in, so I can get both my accounts through. And then if Dunner and I can't play tonight, I still have an account that I can play Thursday and Friday. So there we have it. A nice easy round. Guest is at the top. Got sporting some jewelry. What they shoot in -14? They got that Albie on hole number 9. Excellent. Picked up hole number 1. Very nice. How'd Marco get it done? Marco got it done pretty much the same way I did. Just picked up the easy par 4s, and that's it. All right, there you have it. Let's see if they're sporting any jewelry. Yep, they're sporting some jewelry too. Look at that. All right. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody has a great tournament, and I will hopefully be able to shoot around tonight, and I'll get it posted as soon as I shoot it. Thanks for watching.